I'm Carrie Adams, and you're listening to Carrie's Connoisseurs, coming to you from Solid Gold Podcasts. Here we talk to the movers and shakers, the drinkers, the dreamers, and all the people who make it happen in the liquor and luxury industries from around the world. Hello everybody, and welcome to another edition of Carrie's Connoisseur. Thanks for joining us. Today in my studio, and you can see we're sort of sitting in the winelands here today, I've got Albie Koch with me. Albie Koch is the boss man at the Toren winery. And there's nobody who doesn't know who and where and what and why the Toren is. And if you don't know, you have to be ashamed of yourselves. Welcome.
Thank you very much, Carrie. Thank you for having me.
They're in Johannesburg, and whenever I hear that my winemaking boys are in Johannesburg, I dash to try and usurp them for at least 30 minutes if I can, and more if possible. Because it's not often that we have the privilege of our wine boys in Johannesburg. Why are you here?
The Cape is too cold at this time of the year. We need to
raining.
get out of there. We heard Joburg is offering sunshine for free, so we came.
I was there last week. For the whole week I was judging a wine competition, and it was so cold and miserable.
Yeah.
And I kept on longing for my Johannesburg garden. Spring has sprung in Johannesburg, and it's so pretty. Did you see the sort of
Beautiful.
lime green hue on all the trees?
Beautiful.
It's my favorite time of year.
My allergies are kicking in here.
Yes,
so,
yes, of course they will.
Now we are here in Joburg visiting our market. Of course, we've got a very good following in Johannesburg.
Yes.
Excuse me. So now it's time for us to get off our bums out of the cellar.
No, it's quite nice for you to actually get out of that. You know, Cape Town's gorgeous, and on a good day, there's no more beautiful place in the world than the Cape. But that only happens like 3 times a year, really, doesn't it?
Yes, and you know
you get 3 out of 365 is good.
Exactly, exactly. So now we are visiting some markets, on-con, off-con markets that has always supported us. So we need to get back here, as we said to the guys today. You know, we can make the wines. It's fairly easy to design the vineyards and make the wines. But at the end of the day, we need to come and support the market that
I know. And
supports
how
us.
big a part of the local market is Johannesburg for you?
Oh, it's big.
Is it?
Cape Town has kicked in quite well over the last 25
All the Johannesburg
years.
people are moving down to the Cape, so you must be
but
growing your Cape market.
the wine drinkers are still behind. There's still a lot of wine drinkers that's staying behind, that's still supporting.
Yes.
So I would more or less guess about 65% is still Joburg.
You know, 1 million years ago when I worked for Anglo-American Farms, it used to be 70-30.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's changed all that much. I mean,
No.
I used to see a lot of the sales going through Norman Goodfellows, and easily 70% of most local sales happen in Johannesburg.
Cape Town is very driven by tourism.
Yes.
So you see your flock of tourism coming in.
So that puts another onus on you to get that little bottom of yours overseas as well.
Yep.
And
That's what we're
get
doing.
this-
Charles actually is out flying on the end of this month.
And you know what? Charles is actually sitting in my studio. I'm looking at him. You're not allowed to see him, but I'm lucky enough. I can sit and look at him. He's pretty enough. My son is in business with Matthew Applebaum in London
Yes.
at RAC, and they
Yes.
look after you. So my
Yes.
son looks after you
Yes.
in Jonathan. He looks after you
Yeah.
in England.
Yes. I've met Jonathan. Yep.
Have you?
Yes.
Naughty but gorgeous.
Well, the three of them, I think, together.
They're very naughty. They're very naughty. Wendy and I have a hell's own job. There's Sebastian and Matthew and Jonathan, but they're cute and they're doing nicely.
Yeah.
So there's a nice close tie. I looked after you for many years in Joburg. My son can look after you in London. It's nice.
Yeah.
These wines, there's not a single person who doesn't know, as I say. They're gorgeous. The history of the Toren is, when did the Den Dilks buy that farm? Long ago. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah, it was. I think that
About
the
20-something years
date
ago.
stamp on the house was 1992. That's
that
when they
long
moved
ago?
down. 94, the manor house was built. That house is now our tasting room. And I think planting started in 1998. That was the first replanting that happened with Merlot being planted.
Merlot. I remember
Yes.
Merlot was planted, and I still remember saying to Emile Senior, unless you're making Petrus, don't plant Merlot.
Mm.
And he said no, his dream was to make the quintessential Bordeaux style blend. And you have made one, haven't you?
We've done so. I think planting Merlot is quite adventurous. And, you were right on that.
It can be stalky and green
Yeah,
and ghastly,
you
but
have
it
to do
can also
your-
shame, it can be nice.
It can be
You
nice.
mustn't be so rude.
Yeah, and it must be nice because I think the world,
world drinks
probably
it.
in South Africa, the wine that's being drunk the most are Merlots. Still.
As single bottled cultivars, Merlot is drunk a huge amount.
Yeah. And you just need to apply a lot of patience with Merlot and understand Merlot. And we've done
What's
so.
the ultimate sort of vinification of Merlot? If I said to you, I want you to make me a 36, 26, 36 Merlot, how are you going to make it?
It boils down to the vineyard. You have to start in the vineyard. So if you want to have a big bolded 36 double D, you have to find the right vineyard to hit that spot. To make the thinner one is not, I won't say not that difficult, but to
But
really
we don't
make,
really want that skinny one, do we?
So it's really to understand the vineyards and the window of opportunity with Merlot is very small. So when vineyards are very susceptible to drought, so you need to have water, and then the picking window is small.
And we don't want them green.
No.
We don't want them.
If Merlot tells you on a
anywhere
Friday
green.
afternoon at 5 o'clock, I'm ready
It's
to rock
ready.
and roll, you better get going on Saturday
I
morning.
always say, I know that it's terribly politically incorrect, but I am politically incorrect and I'm old enough to be allowed to be. So for anybody out there who, please don't be offended by this. This is just straight from Carrie's heart. My grapes all have genders.
Oh.
They always have had. I've been in the wine industry my whole life, and my grapes have genders. It's like my days of the week have colors, and my months of the year have colors. Do yours?
Yeah, I think we describe them also when we tell about the body of the Merlots.
So my days of my week from a little girl, Mondays red, Tuesdays orange, Wednesdays green, Thursdays purple, Fridays brown. It always has been my whole life. So my grapes have genders, and Merlot is a gay boy. It just is. It knows that it's a boy, but it likes to be feminine.
Someone else. Yeah.
And so I can see Charles laughing in the corner on the other side there. We're probably going to be taken to jail for this. But you know what I mean. It's said with love.
Yeah.
And so it adds this soft feminine sort of dimension to a blend. But it's got enough backbone to be a boy. It can actually be a boy if we want it to be a proper boy.
Yeah.
So it can do the blue jobs if it has to.
Yeah.
But it prefers to do the pink jobs, I think.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Yeah, definitely. We always describe we always say Cabernet Sauvignon is the backbone. That's
The
the
big boy, it
skeleton.
stands there like that and says,
And
"Put
then
a suit
what is
on
Cabernet
me."
Franc? That's the perfume you put on.
Cabernet Franc works in the perfumery.
Yeah.
It might also be
Yeah.
a gay boy, I don't know. It's very pretty. Though.
Different
we
one.
We like it. It's such a good looking gay boy. It really is. Hey?
Yeah. So winemaking is all about that real passion and patience, and not to try to overdo it.
So you planted Merlot first.
Yes.
Bottled a straight Merlot.
No. So we've never, except for our latest adventure in 2020, we've never bottled a single varietal. It's all Bordeaux
Yeah, that's
blends.
what I thought. It was only ever a blend. Hey?
Yeah. But when we started the Toren in 1998, of course we inherited some old Cabernet Sauvignon that were virus infected. We had some Chardonnay with some Chenin. Well, I always tell the guys we didn't have Chenin. On the label it said Chenin on the vineyards, but there was more reeds that's growing in there. So we had to take everything out and start from scratch. It was actually a good thing.
Did you replant that entire farm, hey?
Yeah, it was actually a good thing because we could start the canvas from scratch. Excuse me. It was a blessing in disguise, but it was a tall order because it's for cash flow.
No, it's hectic.
For starting
Thank
a
God
winery.
Emil got there with quite a lot of money. I think he had quite a big budget. He'd had a successful
But
business.
you know how you make $1 million in Cape Town.
Yeah.
You come down from Johannesburg
From
with
200,
5.
yeah.
And then you spend 4 and then you made $1 million. So, we needed that.
And how did you get involved with the Den Dogs? Because you were there from the start, weren't you?
I was actually a assistant winemaker or a harvest intern at Graham Beck Winery with Charles Hopkins.
That's right, with Charles Hopkins.
So those days, Charles Hopkins were the guru of winemaking,
And
amongst
he's
other.
still, I mean, Charles is
still,
just such
yeah.
a doctor of wine, isn't he?
So,
He's Dr. Wine.
And actually, the grapes that were grown at the Toren were delivered before we had the Toren, of course.
Yes.
Were delivered to him,
Yes.
and he was approached to say, "Listen, I need a winemaker. We're going to start a winery." He got involved with the design, how should we do it, what should we
Yes.
do, etc., etc. And then, of course, they needed a person to do this.
You were the man for the job.
Well, I was given the opportunity. I think if I were given the opportunity today, I would probably
Say no.
stress myself out tremendous, be on some kind of drug. Or
That's all right.
so. But
It
you
seems
know,
like that's
you're
okay.
young. You're young. You are energetic. You are feisty.
Do
You
it.
want to conquer the world.
And
And
you
the
did.
opportunity was given.
Were you at Elsenburg or Stellies?
Elsenburg. I was too dumb for Stellies. Yeah.
Extremely dumb, this Albie Koch.
No, I was Elsenburg. I actually wanted to just become a farmer, not winemaking as such. And immediately when I was there, I was always intrigued by wine because my dad was loved his wine. And then I decided let's try this winemaking thing, and that's where the bug just bit, and I
know it's like a terrible
Yeah.
sickness.
Yeah.
It's a sickness that we've all got.
Yeah.
And I promised myself when I sort of got that sickness, when I caught that virus myself, I promised myself to try not to become one of those wine wanker type people, you know? You don't want to be one of
Snifferati,
those.
spitterati.
You don't want to be that. I always say my mother, and I think Jenny Ratcliffe stole that thing from me years ago because I entered the wine industry. And my mother had always taught me that nice girls don't spit. And then when I got into the wine industry, I learned that nice girls don't swallow either. So what do you do? Okay, this is an X-rated program, guys. Albie, so you planted the Merlot, you planted Cab, you planted all 5 varieties for a typical Bordeaux blend.
Yes.
And who was doing your viticulture? You were doing everything, or was Charles helping you at the time still?
No, there was a old oom called Oom Pikkie. A shame, I think Oom Pikkie definitely has retired to the grave today. But Oom Pikkie was more of a he was not on the same standard, and he was getting close to retirement age. So
Well, and in those days, they didn't even study viticulture, really,
so
a lot of them. Hey,
he held
They
on
just-
for another week,
they knew.
a year. Sorry, not a week, another year. And then Oom Pikkie retired. He said, "Listen, I'm off."
Couldn't deal with
I took
your-
over as the viticulturist as well as the winemaker. But I had a consultant in for viticulture.
Yeah.
And of course, Charles was
Helped.
assisting, supporting me a lot and guiding me through the whole process.
Yes.
And then about 2 years later, we were researching so much viticulture and seeing people that we actually outgrew our consultant. And I'm not trying to be arrogant here, but it's
true.
what we were doing was quite
You were
different.
pioneers,
Yeah.
you were pioneers in
And
your field.
normal
really.
viticulture was just saying, what the hell are you doing? I mean, our road directions we switched from north-south planting or north-south, east-west
Yes.
traditionally to southwest, northeast. And they said, why are you doing this? And we said, well, we're not just
The way our
utilizing the
winds
sun.
come, yeah,
the wind,
nice,
the wind.
yeah,
And that's
yeah.
one of our wines' name is named after that, the zephyr, the southwesterly wind.
Yes.
So a lot of things we did.
Yeah.
Irrigation, for instance, we've installed the first drip irrigations in our
Yes.
area.
Yes.
So all of those things just made the viticulturists go cuckoo and say, listen, no, you guys are
Yeah.
so
No,
pioneers.
you've been trailblazers in the industry for many things, and your success is monumental. I mean, I think you were the first people to break a barrier on a price point on a wine at Norman Goodfellows. I remember saying to Solly, the Toren's wine is now X amount of money, 700 Rand or whatever. They had like a top-end wine that was going to be very expensive. And I think that was one of the boundaries that you pushed as well, because your wine is beautiful and it does take time and effort and energy and money to produce a product like that. And the packaging is extraordinary as well. I mean, when you first packaged, what's your top well, you've got your Black Line and your your
Book
top
70.
end, Book 70,
And Patronus.
and they are honestly, I have to say, and I mean, I'm privileged enough to taste absolutely everything in South Africa, but those top end the Toren wines are extraordinary. They're collector's items. They are what I use for private customers in investment sellers, because you can buy them this year. And I know that as true as I've got a I can sell them for 3 or 4 times the amount next year already. So there's certain wines that you can buy in South Africa that are very definitely investment wines, and the Toren was one of the first. Kanonkorp's always been one.
Yeah.
The Toren was the next one. There are not many. Meerlust is one for specific vintages, but there's not many. So that was another boundary that you sort of shot the lights out on. You've set lots of new standards, high standards for the wine industry, which is brilliant. But then the Toren got sold.
Yeah. So part of the whole, you make something work, you get to a point, and I think they got to a point where they decided, listen, it's time to hang up the boots.
Well, Mrs. D got ill as well. I think they wanted to leave and go and have fun.
Yeah, you work hard, and at one time you also have to enjoy the fruits of your labor.
Yes.
And they approached me and said, listen, it's time for me to hang up the boots. And they, I'll be honest, but we're not just going to throw you in the wind. We're not just going to sell to the next buyer.
Yes.
We need to find somebody suitable that will fit the brand, fit the philosophy.
And they were selling you too. I think you were
I was part of the
register.
Yeah, devalued already. Zero value on it. And many came to have a look. And all of these things happen under the radar.
It's not a huge farm, hey?
No,
it's a little farm.
25 in total. 21 is vineyards, and the other 4 is cellar, manor house.
Do you rent any vineyards from anyone else?
Yes, a little bit from our next door neighbor, like 1.5 hectares of Cabernet Sauvignon. And we do, of course, all the Black Line vineyards are not our own.
Where are your Black Line vineyards, or is it a secret?
Majority are sitting in Swartland. Location not disclosed.
That's where my soil is.
No, it's not that bad.
That's where my biotite is.
Yeah, it's on a friend of mine's farm. So
Shiraz.
Yeah. And then the other bit is close to Somersby, is Wraithby area.
Yes.
So we combine the two, because we're sitting with a single varietal, so we had to sort of mix the two microclimates to give us a little bit of strength and a little bit of finesse. So those are the only ones. The rest are all
at home
own vineyards, yeah. And we have actually acquired our next door farm.
Oh, have you?
To give us another 3.6 hectares now. In the world of wine, viticulture, that's minute numbers, or farming, it's minute numbers. But that's the little parcels that we need to not increase our production, but to give us options to choose.
I know. I've just come now, before you, I've come from a lunch with the Chief Executive Officer of Louis Latour, who, as you know, they own, I think they own the biggest acreage of Grand Cru vineyard in Burgundy. Nice place to find yourself. It's very
3 rows and you're a multimillionaire.
You don't even have to farm anything. You just sell off little bits of land.
Just watch it grow.
And it's amazing to hear how little the farms are there. You know, they'll farm 2 hectares here and 1 hectare there. And
they make a living.
And they make a very tidy living as well, if you've got the right vineyard.
Yeah.
And the Toren is in a place called Polkedraai.
Yeah.
And I wish it was prettier. Polkedraai is not pretty. But sometimes, Charles is laughing. Polkedraai is actually ugly. But it's not that ugly. There's nothing in the Cape that's ugly. But we have got extraordinarily beautiful winelands. And Polkedraai is not the prettiest, because somebody went and put those big pylons all through there. So there's lots of electrical pylons and things. But it doesn't look like that.
See, where we are situated, we actually oversee everything. So we are clear to Falls Bay. We're the almost highest point there.
The highest point. Can you see the sea? You can see it from the tasting room, I think, from memory.
Yeah, we're 40 kilometers as the crow flies to the ocean. So we've got a pretty good view.
Yes.
We've actually, our vineyards
and we've got our back to the pylons.
Yes.
Yeah, so that's.
So we see nice.
I would take those pylons down one night if I were you. You know, we all got used to doing without electricity.
Somebody steal some copper or something.
We've all got used to doing without electricity anyway. I'm sure you can make a plan. Yeah. So whilst it's a bit of an ugly duckling in the winelands, it's got seriously good soils, and that's. Yeah. Sort of what we want when we're going into wine farming. We want those soils to be brilliant.
Yeah. Jamaican actually did an article some time back, last year, on the Polkedraai area. The not upcoming, but put the focus onto the Polkedraai area, and people started noticing that the wine farms and who's buying grapes from that area, who's renting vineyards, etc. So it's almost like this undiscovered area that's being rediscovered.
Well, it's quietly been producing some of our top wines, and as you say, top fruit. And not necessarily when you buy a bottle of wine, do you know where that fruit's come from? And a lot of really good fruit comes from that Polkedraai area. It really does. Yeah. But I think that with the red wines, it's the same as anywhere really. It's how you deal with them. And the thing about the Toren wine, and you only make red. Did you ever make a white? Didn't you make a Chardonnay once?
We tried, we failed miserably.
I remember. All
it was a project called Friends, and we tried it.
I remember that.
Friends of the family, and we tried it, but our equipment wasn't equipped with it, and we really struggled.
Yeah,
and
so
eventually,
it's only red wines.
Only red wines. Commercially, we've never made white wines to sell. It's only red wines.
I remember Emile came sort of sheepishly creeping into my shop the one day with a little bottle of Chardonnay under his arm, and he said, "Kerry, this is just for you to taste." And it wasn't that bad. I mean, you're making it sound terrible. It was nice.
Yeah, the eye of the beholder is...
He's my friend. I would have told him anything. I need to tell everybody before we forget that the boys make a thing called Delicat. And in my estimation, it's one of the best value for money red blends in the country. For functions and things, I used to use that every weekend by the caseload. It is fantastic wine. What do you put in Delicat? I can't remember.
So Delicat is a blend, of course. It's a blend of Malbec, Merlot, and a little bit of Cabernet Sauvignon and Cab Franc. It's a light style. It's not medium style. Let's call it a medium style. It's not as light as a rosé, so don't mistake it for a rosé. You
can chill it a little bit.
You can, and that's what we did. We actually took out tannins. Naturally meaning we didn't a certain part of the juice we didn't expose to skins, and the skins the tannins.
Oh, did you?
So we make a pale looking like a rosé, make that, and then we blend back red wine into it to get that. So low tannin, fresh on taste. Sweet on finished, but the sweetness on finish is not sugar sweetness; it's fruit sweetness that comes from the Malbec.
So it delivers. It's basically Mulberry Oros. It's like Mulberry Oros for me. It's just good. You know when you've got a mulberry tree in your garden and you're little and you just can't stop eating those mulberries when they're really black and they're sweet and they're juicy and they pop in your mouth like. That's what Delicat's like. It's gorgeous.
Yeah, and serve it at 11 degrees Celsius. It's a nice wine to start.
Do yourself a favor.
Start your breakfast with.
As soon as you've listened to this podcast, dash to the store and buy a case of Delicat and have a bottle for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 2 weeks. Now the doctor does an R with an X and says 1 by 3 times 2. We do that. That's the prescription. 3 bottles a day for 2 weeks. You'll never feel better. Never be happier, I promise. Now we're in trouble for being rude, for being salacious, for being lascivious, and for promoting alcoholism.
What can risk go wrong?
Alcoholism. What else can we do? Callum, if anybody comes looking for us, don't tell where we are. Delicat is just delicious, and it's not a hugely expensive wine. What's it, 200 Rand or something a bottle at this stage of the game? It's delicious. And I highly recommend it for everyday drinking in my house. That's what my go-to is. And then we jump up a little bit and we have a thing called Z.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
So Z also gone through a transition of going from the Toren Z to the Toren Edition Z. So
Edition
it's
Z.
Edition Z
Okay.
or Z or whatever. So, and with our 2020 revamp we did with the Manor House, we also looked at the packaging.
Yeah.
We have our own bottles with our own crest on it.
Yes, I know.
plastered
Look at
in.
them. Aren't they beautiful? They're
So
such...
we looked at the
they're
labels.
just classy. Can you see them? They're gorgeous.
So Edition Z went from, of course, the Z stands for Zephyrus or Zephyr.
Which is a
Pre-guard,
wind.
yeah, of the westerly wind. Southwesterly is the winds we get predominantly onto the farm. And we named it because it was Fusion 5 and it was
here's
the Toren
Edition
Delicate.
Z. That's what it looks
That's
like.
the Edition Z, yeah. So we just made a name a little bit longer.
Now, so we've got small, medium, and large, basically. We've got...
What are we talking about now? Sorry.
No! Get that mind out of the gutter. Small, medium, and large wine. So we've got Delicate, we've got Edition Z, we've got Fusion 5. So that's small, medium, and large. And then we've got extra large when we've got Black Lion and
Book 17 and
Book
Patronus.
17, which we'll tell you about now.
Yeah.
And Patronus, which we'll tell you about. So the Z, what's inside there? Also
So,
all 5?
No. So previously it was, but we did an extensive tasting and we thought, Fusion 5 is 5 varieties.
Yeah.
The name says it all. A fusion of 5.
Yeah, that's it. And it's what Bordeaux style blend is,
Yeah.
essentially.
And we decided let's do Edition Z. Let's take it to the real right bank style and make it Merlot Cab Franc. That's it. From the 2018
Okay.
vintage, they only contain the 2 varietals. Pure Merlot driven,
Yes.
about 70%, 30% Cab Franc. So it's got the strength of that Merlot, that
it's
beautiful, and that little bit of Cab Franc perfume, boom,
pretty,
just makes
pretty.
it, yeah.
It's also not wildly, hugely top-end expensive, but it's you certainly can't go wrong. It's your dinner party wine. Whatever you cook for your dinner party, have that. You certainly won't go wrong. It's just hits the spot. And then we get to Fusion 5, which has been an all-time favorite of mine for a very, very long time. It's just consistency. And it's the same with anything. Parenting, studying, working, partying. Be consistent. And you'll be successful. And it's just so consistently good. It really is.
Thank you.
All 5 Bordeaux varieties. So I keep telling, I preach the gospel according to Carrie. All 5, it's Cabernet Franc, Merlot, Malbec, Petit Verdot. And those are the 5 wines that you have to find in a proper, fully, highly pedigreed Bordeaux-style blend. And that's what's in there. The percentages change from year to year, depending upon what you taste.
Yeah, 1 or 2% up or down. But the DNA or the blueprint has stayed the same since 1999.
Do you know what I didn't do this year, and I don't think I did last year either? You always used to have that thing up in Johannesburg where we used to do the blend for the. Have you done it still or not?
We did it up until COVID. And
then you haven't
of course,
done it.
We haven't done it yet.
We must do it next
I
year
think
again.
we must get kick-started
I think
again.
we must do it.
Even if it's just a
Top.
nice party.
Just like, that's the only reason we do it for a
sorry,
party.
yeah.
We'll worry about the wine blending later, but we'll have a party first.
Yeah, no, it's fun. It's fun to taste all the different sort of samples.
So bring all the components up and the samples that they've put together that they think is going to be the sample for that vintage, and then we judge them sort of in Joburg. It's fun.
Yeah.
We must do that. It's gorgeous. It is expensive. What's it, 600-700 rand a bottle or
It's
something?
probably just over 800 rand
800 rand a
Yeah.
bottle.
Yeah.
But if you were to compare this with anything anywhere else in the world, you would be paying a lot more money in America for a wine like this, and the same, a lot more in France or Italy or Spain, any of them. You would be paying double, triple what this price is, I think. It's a class act. Don't ever question. If you're looking for something smart, if you want a beautiful birthday prezi or a Christmas prezi, in fact, that's a good idea. Christmas prezis. They're just gorgeous. You can't go wrong. Then there are those 3 super premium wines that you make. and explain to my audience what makes them super premium. Because people used to say to me, how can they make this thing that's 800? How can they make classic? Classic. It is classic. What's it
Which
called, our baby one?
Oh, the
ribbon.
Oh, the from yeah.
You can make that for 200. This is 800, and then we jump up to 2,700 rand a bottle. What's the difference? Well, there's a big difference. Tell them.
So basically, the book 70 was started out of a curiosity to, well, not a curiosity, more of a research and development program, where we would see or search for the answer to make the wine better, our wines better.
So you consulted Pliny the Elder or something?
We did a lot of, we even consulted a beer company to drink a lot of beer to see if we can't. No, just, so we did a lot of things in the research, in vineyards, research in barrels, research in clay pots. What's the next step? What does the Toren need to do the next step to further the quality? And then you get to all the answers, or you think of the answers, they all points to them. And then you have to go and practice them. Like one of the things is different barrels, specifically made barrels for the purpose, specifically vineyards sought after in our vineyards based on aerial imagery, low bearing, more concentration. What does it do? Because literature tells you lower yields, better quality. But where does it stop? How low should you go? 1 bunch per wine? 2 bunches? 10 bunches? So we did all of that, and we started making this wine, start crafting this wine. Hand sorting.
And you can go mad because everything gets done by hand.
Hand sorting, hand barrel rolls, no machines involved, baby press, hand operated. And we got to a point where we saw what the differences are. Where does this thing, where does the X and the Y cross? When we figured that out, and we bottled the wine, and we called it Book 17. It was a blend of Cabernet Sauvignon, 50%, 25 Malbec more or less, 25 Cab Franc. And we launched it at a price of just over 2,000 Rand.
Yes.
And when you tell the story, when you purvey what we've done, when people understand, when they visit the farm, they actually embrace the fact what we're doing. Because we're not doing it for the Toren only. We're not doing it for...
doing it for South Africa.
We're doing it for South Africa.
Yeah.
We need to show the world.
Yeah.
We need to show the world what we can do, what can be done if you focus.
It's delicious, and it is. I'm not joking. It's a very good investment. I always tell the story of when I was doing my radio program on Classic FM, and Michael Avery is the business guy on Classic, and he and I used to do programs back to back on a Friday. And one year he said to me, I tell you what, you choose some wines for investments and we'll see, and I'll choose my investments for the year. It was right at the end of the year, and we were going to have a bit of a competition to see whose investment. My wine outstripped his stupid money market like you can't believe.
I've actually been on those shows a few times with you, way back.
Yes, you used to come on Classic often with me.
Yeah.
So now we've got, we've got
So Book 17 was
then
born.
We've got Black Line is a straight Shiraz, hey?
2012, Black Line was born. People say, "Why? What's up with Shiraz? It's not Bordeaux."
The jury's out on Shiraz for me.
So, but what people don't know is that in 2003 and 4 already, we were approached by, and actually in 2002 we were approached by Domaine Bertagne in Burgundy. Said they're doing Pinot Noir, Chardonnay, and we're doing Bordeaux blend. Why don't we do a JV together and we make Shiraz?
Oh, is that really? Is that a sort of a joint venture? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it was called the DDS Shiraz. We made 2 vintages of it, very small amounts, and it was sold locally, private clients, blah, 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 whatever, and it was never internationally launched. But the project got brakes put onto it because the joint venture or the partner from overseas found out that he was doing a little bit, he had girlfriends all over the world, if I have to make it nice.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes, but he was caught. That's the difference.
13th commandment, thou shalt not get caught.
So that was, the brakes were put on, but we already have already figured out how to work with Shiraz inside the Toren, let's say, it's real space. So we kickstart that project and launched Black Line. And it was hugely
It's
successful.
very nice, but
Yeah.
you know why? Because it's not too... Shiraz is like the AIDS baby of the wine industry. It just catches everything that's going. You know, you've got to keep it so clean and tidy. Hey, am I right, Charles? It just catches every blooming flu bug and whatever. It's got those silly little roots that go all over the place. And, you know,
the little face of the berry
roots.
frumbles up.
No, it's got a puckered little face of a wizened old lady. It's got silly busybody roots. It gets sick. It catches all the silly disease. Shiraz is not my favorite friend.
But when you find the one that's
when you
hitting
find the right
the
one
note
and you
right,
hit
then
the
it's
spot,
beautiful.
oh
Yeah.
my goodness, you want to
Yeah.
die. It's
Yeah.
gorgeous.
Yeah.
And you find those, of course, in France. They've got some, except that they also had for years. They had the stinkiest. My cousin Brett lived in France for a long time, you know, and he went
Probably
into
still living
every
there, but
cellar.
anyway, that's for another.
He visited every cellar in the Rhone. That was for sure. Anyway, if you do manage to plant and nurture a Shiraz vineyard and get the juice into the cellar, but lots of puffing and blowing, lots of stroking and coaxing, you do get really, really smart wine. And that's what Black Line is. It's very smart. It's gorgeous. And then our last one is what?
So that's Malbec.
Straight
So
Malbec.
Malbec has always been the hero at the Toren, but Malbec has always been doing its job. But we've been talking about Cabernet Sauvignon for Fusion, Merlot for Edition Z, and where do we stand with Malbec? So we decided, let's give Malbec the honor it deserves, and let's do a Malbec, 100% Malbec, in the same style as that we do with Book 17. We look at the vineyards, we define spots within our vineyards that he'll give us this fantastic grapes. Because Malbec, in essence,
You
gives a
have
lot.
got beautiful Malbec.
Yeah, gives a lot of.
The Toren. Do you know what I'm sitting here thinking? I'm thinking we should hatch a plot with the Rothschilds. You know, they've got that Almaviva project in Argentina with Malbec. Have you tasted that one?
We
It's
have,
like
I think,
yours.
yeah.
It's like yours.
Yeah.
Not all Malbec's born equal. Some of it's much nicer than other. And Almaviva, I must get hold of them for you.
Yeah, that will be fantastic.
Can you? Because you know they do.
Malbec is the forgotten child. It's the forgotten child of
Completely
France.
forgotten child, and you've got a
Argentina
beautiful
is doing it.
Argentina's
fantastically.
making, but again, some gorgeous and some.
Yeah.
So it's with a P. You know, after I had COVID, I can remember the first letter of everything, and then we've got a new game in my family. And I say it starts with a P. Then they say, you know, petunia and pansy, and eventually we get to the name of it.
Yeah.
What?
Like in the beginning, people said it was Petronas. It was, that's an oil company, or that's a fuel company that sponsors the F1 team. This is racy juice, but it's not that racy.
What
No.
does Patronus mean?
So Patronus is the patron of the land, the
Oh, okay,
protector
like a
of the
Latin
land.
father.
Yes. Yeah. We actually had to go to Patron Tequila to ask them permission
Oh,
to use
really?
the name. Yeah. We got permission because
Okay.
the quantity we were making, they were doing tequila and we were doing wine.
Yes.
So, but it sprung a very good note to us, because part of what we do at the Toren is also with organic farming. We look after nature. We need to put back into nature. We have to preserve nature.
Yeah.
So all those top 3 wines has all got the faces of a animal figure on it. The book 17's got the figure of a eagle, because the book 17, Roman philosopher, Roman times, Roman eagle. The black lion has got the face of a black lion, because that's the black lion that roamed the Table Mountain area that got extinct. So nobody took care there. Also the grapes come from black land, Swartland. And then of course the Patronus got the face of a white rhino, which is one of the endangered animals.
Very endangered. Yeah.
We even go far. Last year we started this, where we look after, or we pledge some money to the
White Rhino Fund.
Rhino Orphanage up in Nelspruit, Limpopo. And then proceeds from the sale of Patronus for a certain period of time from the farm, we then give them back their proceeds. So we raised last year, we gave them a fair bit of money to look after the baby rhinos.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. They all got T-shirts with a baby rhino on them, so it's cool.
Oh, no. Have you seen how cute those little things are?
So we have to also be responsible in what we do in our social.
You do. I'm going to
as well
come
as
and see you.
corporate,
I'm going to make you do your soils, and we're going to do carbon credits for you, and it's going to pay for all your rhinos.
Yeah. Beautiful.
I'll come and see you about that. What do we need to know about from the Toren that's new, if anything?
I think the biggest thing that we've done now, the Toren, the last 5 years, apart from the wines that we've created, the labels that we've changed, excuse me, is the fact that we've now changed our tasting room. The past, you found us on a weekend with these 2 Dobermans watching over you and a dead door sitting in front. You can't visit because we were not open for the public in terms of
which is infinitely
walk-ins.
Sensible.
Yeah, so
you don't want the public there at all.
And these days we've converted the manor house in a beautiful tasting room area.
Oh, have you?
And it's not a commercial space. It's a very warm one-to-one. I still do tastings. Charles does still do tastings.
Yes.
Martin, our winemaker.
You do tastings on a bookings only
Well,
basis.
we do 2. So if you want to do the tour, you book in advance, day or 2 in advance.
Yes.
Give you a time slot. It takes about an hour and a half. We take you through and you taste the wines. Otherwise, you can just walk in. If you stumble upon us, you walk in.
So you do have walk-ins now?
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. And it's been tremendous because we actually now can share what we see every day, and that's that beautiful view over over Falls Bay.
Yes.
Sit on the stoop, watch that, see over the vineyard, see the cellar, parking area, and it's just, we've never utilized it in the past properly.
No.
Now we can do it.
It's certainly the prettiest farm in the area. Do you live on the farm?
Yes, for my sins.
No,
it's a good thing and a bad.
Never leave your office. Hey?
No, it's a privilege. It's just you stay at work the whole time, but I still consider it as a privilege because it's such a beautiful thing.
It's a massive privilege.
Yeah,
it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
And if I asked you, what's your death row meal?
My death row meal.
And your death row wine.
It will be easy. I always said, and I can picture myself, not that I'm a criminal, but I can picture myself.
Picture yourself sitting there on that lethal injection bed.
Yeah. Or a gun to my head or something.
Yes, okay. Yeah. And what would you ask for?
I think a nice bottle of Patronus Malbec, just myself, and a nice piece of picanha steak, well prepared.
You know, you South African boys, you all the same. I love
then
you
it's gone.
with my heart. Yeah. And what a way to go.
Yeah. We had one day, a client of ours is actually German, and he bought a bottle of wine. He says, I'm going to go now to the restaurant and I'm going to order a steak and that's it. So his wife says, we can have a bottle of red wine and only steak. She says, that's my red wine. You better buy your own.
I know, and it's just the perfect steak partner, really. It is. It's just made in heaven, those two. Albie, it's always just such a pleasure. Your wines are delicious. What vintage are we drinking?
So the Edition Z, that's the 2020, and the Fusion 5 is the 2021. That's the current vintage we have in the marketplace, South Africa, and as well as
and there's not a huge amount of stock, hey? You don't make millions of cases of
No, in total
wine.
we about 120, 130,000 bottles in total. That's everything and everything.
And your exports doing nicely? Are you exporting all around the world or what?
It's doing nicely, but we're selling 55% of our production in South Africa. So we've had a very good following in South Africa.
Yes.
Thank you very much for everybody that's doing that for us, because we make the wines, but people
Someone
that
else
sells
has
the
to buy
wine
them,
and buys the wine, that's very...
And in America, what's your American market like?
No, luckily, very small, exposed at this stage.
Because they would be jealous of this, because they make wine just like this. I was always very rude when I was studying wine in England, and we were drinking quite a lot of Californian Cabernets and things at that stage that were quite new. And they were so big. They were powerful wines, and they were really big things, and we were all a bit rude about it. And I don't know what they did or how they did it, but sure, there's some smart wine coming out of that. Napa and Sonoma at the moment, there's some really, really smart wine coming out of there. They would be scared of this one because that's what yours is like. And I think it's just what you say. It's a combination of all the little attention to detail that goes into producing a bottle of wine that just, first of all, it smells like heaven. Secondly, you put it in your mouth and it's like, you know, as you get older, it's such a funny thing. As I've got older, I've loved texture. maybe more than aromatic and flavor. I love the texture and the palate weight of wine. And for me, that determines the quality of a wine nowadays. Before, I wanted to smell it, and I wanted to feel it coming out of my ears and my nose and my eyes, and I wanted to run down my chest. Now I want to feel it dance on my palate like that. I want it to feel polished and luminescent and
linger.
And then stay. It's just like a gorgeous lover. You want him to stay. You know, you just want him to stay. And it does.
Yeah.
And that texture is what makes wine so memorable.
Yeah.
And that's what the Toren is. So you can't see Chris. He's sitting. I'm looking at him. But you really do. And I keep calling you Chris. Are you Chris?
Charles.
For some. You see, he's confused.
He's his twin brother that never has his name.
He's also Chris. You can't see Charles, but he's sitting in the corner.
Lord Charles Williams.
You make the most gorgeous wine. And I don't know what you do there, but I know you do something.
I watch over the vineyards.
He's the boss. Between you, you are producing some of South Africa's wine that we can be so proud of. It's gorgeous. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Carrie.
Thank you, Charles. Thank you very much. We'll see you again soon. Next year to taste.
Definitely. Come and visit.
I'll come and visit. I will come and visit.
Yeah,
the boys are coming for Cape Wine, I think.
They do. Yeah, we are.
So I might come down and spend some time with them.
Down.
I sort of try and guide them a bit as best I can with their escapades in London.
Well, they're doing well. They're doing very well.
They're cute.
Great.
They are doing nice. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.
Another production from Solid Gold Podcasts.